Hey, welcome to or welcome back to Total Spotfest. This is closer to our regular time, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ever so closer. One day we're going to be back on a normal schedule. But I am JJ. That is Jamie. That is Austin Reddick. Jamie's just shaking his head, just like, come on, bro. Just give me some sense of normalcy here.
Running long, even when they're extra long anyway, for 3 consecutive weeks. You can kiss my fat ass. That's all I gotta say.
Oh my god!
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to a normal length Dynamite.
Well, we're gonna talk about Dynamite. We're back on. Like I said, we're getting closer to some normalcy here. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. For everybody out there, if this is your first time joining us, hello, welcome. We got the live chat going. Hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the little bell icon so you know when we go live, and give us a big thumbs up. Helps out quite a bit. How you boys been, Jamie? How's softball going? You about halfway through the season now, or?
We only got 2 tournaments left, and it's a little sad. I mean, because we're getting towards the end, because like the girls were hitting their stride. We've hit a little bit of a lull, like we're underperforming a little bit, and but the girls know, so it's like I don't have to say much. So it's kind of nice since they're older, they get it. So life's good actually. I mean, can't complain.
What are they? 14-year-olds now? Is that what they are?
14, and some of them have already turned 15 because we're gonna be going to 16s next year.
Man,
fun times.
Ugh,
fun times.
This is JJ and Jamie Feel Old Weekly, Austin. Just FYI. I remember when these girls were.
I used to coach Megan and Tenu, and she's graduated. I'm on to my second kids.
I know. I remember when Audrey wasn't even born. So
do I.
Well, you remember all of them. Anyway, Austin survived the flood. I know you got a bunch of bad weather down. All the bad weather is just directed at Wichita to you guys recently.
It's not been fun, but no damage, so we're good.
Hey, baby steps. So
exactly. Speaking of things that make people feel old, last weekend was Lucha Libre and Laughs 12-year anniversary.
Yay!
Phenomenal 2 nights of shows, which quick aside, then I'll get back to the feeling old thing. So
okay.
Triple L, because they and pretty much only they can sell out a show and just give you a match you never would have expected. In their run of doing that fairly regularly, Friday night without advertising it, just threw out Abaddon versus Maki Ito.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
All right, Jamie's so mad right now. So mad.
The kind of things you miss when you don't go to Triple L. Saturday night, Jonathan Gresham and Dak Draper put on an absolute banger. Yeah, it was flames.
I could feel the anger just over there coming out of to my right.
It was a good weekend of shows, but hopefully Jamie will be able to make it out there in August. Friday, August 22nd is the next one for any of you listening that might be planning a summer trip to Denver, maybe up in the mountains, a little bit away from the heat. Make your way out to Denver for Triple L. It's the best time in pro wrestling. Going back to the thing that made me feel old, though. So after Friday night show, I had a fan tag me in a clip they shot for the match, and when it happened, when you get tagged on Instagram, it sends you a little thing to accept a DM, and I accept it.
Yeah.
And then the guy reached out, and he was like, "Hey, man." So I guess he comes to Triple L all the time, and he'd been talking to Heidi at the merch table. Found out he knows her cousin, and through that, he found out my shoot name, and he was like, "Hey, man, I graduated high school down in Houston in 2005. I went to this high school with this guy's name. Is that you?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, that is me." So I randomly ran into a dude from high school, and then remembered I graduated high school 20 years ago, like last month. And that was my made me feel old thing for the week.
Yeah. Obviously,
this
you
shit.
didn't hang out with the guy in high school, is what it sounds like.
No, I didn't. I knew the name. Like once I heard his name, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. I don't remember ever interacting with him, but he did tell me I was always super nice to him in high school, so I must have
Well, that's
crossed
good.
paths a few times.
I just wanted to maybe
but
really
yeah.
right click. What's up, Squatch?
Yeah.
Good evening.
Yeah,
Good
I
to see you
went to a
back,
big
buddy.
high school. I went to a big high school, so there was a lot of folks I just was not familiar with.
Same. Jamie's the only one that went to a small high school here, as a matter of fact.
That's correct. Class of 74 folk.
My driver's
60-something are
ed,
still alive.
I think I think my driver's ed class was 74 people. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, we didn't do driver's ed, bro. We just said, hey, gravel road, hit it.
uh,
I think my graduating class had like almost 1,200 people in it.
yeah, mine was
What?
mine was like 9 something or like right around 900, I want to say, like high 8s.
Yeah, Jen
maybe.
was 600, I think. Right around
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Here I am, 74.
Right. Well, I get into it, but you guys let us know what you graduate with. How, big school, small school? That's a question for chat. I got a question for you boys. You want to talk about a little Mexican wrestling?
Let's talk about some Mexican wrestling. Slam Grande.
Slam Grande. AEW Grand Slam Mexico from Arena Mexico in Mexico City, Mexico. Too many Mexicos in a row.
Oh, because the show was pretty Mexico.
It was very Mexican. It was indeed. So, all right.
In all the
First-
best ways.
First question. Is it just me, or did you guys get the feel of this show very similar to what the first Grand Slam was? Was that just me, maybe?
Yeah, it felt like a big deal.
I got the vibe it was a big deal, yes, but I got more of it is Lucha Libre on display instead of like with Grand Slam, because Grand Slam also elevated some storylines and stuff like this. This one definitely did not do that. But the first one, I mean, it definitely had that big feel, and it delivered. I will definitely say that it effing delivered.
I mean, if you didn't have Arena Mexico on your bucket list of wrestling things to do, it better be on there now, because
Seriously.
my God, that crowd was fantastic. And we'll get into it. So, I don't know. One thing I loved about this show, and the reason I bring up the comparison to Grand Slam, the first Grand Slam, is that there was one promo the entire night. Just one. I mean, you had a couple little videos that are part of some stuff, but really, one video, one promo, and that was Hangman on Espanol. Which I appreciate the living crap out of it, but I couldn't understand a damn thing. And try as he may, Excalibur didn't do a fantastic job of translating that either. Let's just be honest.
I think there's a translation on Twitter. He
Oh,
basically
really?
said he was not
I know
allowed
there's
to
one on
be a
Max.
part of the match. That's all I got.
I actually watched it on Max. I didn't see any translation.
You can turn on captions and it'll.
Translate. Yeah. I didn't put captions on.
Yeah, because I turned it on Max a few minutes late, and for a second I forgot they were in Mexico, and I saw captions I saw him speaking in Spanish, and I was like, did I put on like the Spanish broadcast or something? And I was like, wait, no, I'm dumb. That's clearly Hangman's voice, so he's actually just saying this.
Yeah.
So that was a fun start to the night.
I mean, for the gist of it, basically said that he's barred from the building, but he's going to come out after the match and the main event, and nothing groundbreaking, but nice little nod to the crowd. Hey, boys, do you like multi-person matches? Because if you do,
especially with luchas.
I have about 2.5 hours of wrestling show that I would recommend to you, and it's called Grand Slam Mexico. So we start with a now 14-person tag match. That was just beautiful chaos. And I mean that, honest to God, in the nicest way. I'm not going to list everybody that's in the
that's
match.
lucha, man.
Well,
like there's few things more lucha than just a giant multi-man match with people
Absolutely.
flying all over the place.
Well, they actually did this with lucha rules, which is 1 in, 1 out, right? They had one person on the apron with the others down below, right? Which is a very big staple in big tag matches in lucha, right? Tons of showcases. It wasn't just a clusterfuck of 50, over a dozen people just going to town on each other. Squatch was not feeling 14 men in a single match. We had Adam Cole and company versus 1.5 part of FTR, Don Callis family, and more. I mean, it's good fun. It was also nice to know that I always like it when you get the narrative correct, Jamie. Like, they're doing this whole Atlantico thing, right? And they put Atlantico Sr. in this match.
Atlantis,
sorry. Atlantis Senior in this match, which
I
still...
don't want you pissing off anybody if I say the wrong name.
I know. Hey, it happens every time I try and say a Japanese wrestler's name. So, hey, what the hell? But I like the breaking kayfabe of like, oh no, but wait, they hate them in Mexico. They're heels. Hold on. Hold on. Apparently my fix didn't work. It already timed out.
Giving us a heads up in the chat. Hell yeah.
There we go. We back?
Yeah. We're back.
All right,
Yep.
so the software fix that I did over the weekend obviously didn't work. I'll fix that.
We'll get there eventually.
Eventually. It's a learning. All right. Anyway, apologies there. Yeah, so I like the breaking kayfabe bit, that it's like, oh no, the Atlantises, they actually hate them. They're heels.
Right. Yeah, I know. Excalibur did an excellent job with that, though. Like, he definitely did. Like, I give him props. Like, oh, they love the dad. He's a living legend, but they hate his son, Like, and they they booed the shit out of both of them the entire time, which I was like, okay. They got more heat than the heels did. Like, period. And I'm here for it.
It was still a decidedly CMLL, a Mexican audience, which I appreciated, Austin. Like, it wasn't one of those where they tried to gloss over. They're like, no, this is ours, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I saw people complaining on the internet that this was more of an AEW show than like a true AEW CML crossover, which they never said it was like an AEW versus CML kind of thing. Like, it's just a Dynamite in Mexico. And I like that they let what exists down there still exist.
Yeah.
And they celebrated it a bit. Like, if you were not familiar with CMLL previously, why would you not want to tune in after seeing all this tonight?
Oh my God. Like, especially.
Which just another friendly reminder for everybody. They often stream their shows for free on YouTube. They'll tweet about it when it's up.
Yep.
So you had this 14-person tag match. The good guys win, right? Okay, so you have that. And then you go straight into Briscoe coming to defend the honor of Kenny Omega against Kazuchika Okada. With Don Callis on commentary. It's about what you expected. Okada's Okada. Briscoe can go.
Yeah.
Good to see.
I think the crowd made that match, though. I will definitely say that because we knew exactly how this match was going to end, right? I think,
of course,
if you were born yesterday, you knew Okada was going to win this freaking match.
Right.
But you have to give it up to that crowd because the crowd was hot for it. They loved it. They loved the back and forth. They were all in, and then that Rainmaker just sealed it. But either way, I think the crowd made that match way more enjoyable than what it actually was.
I mean, the crowd was a big component of pretty much the entire show tonight, honestly.
Yeah. International crowds just seem to always pop off, and it's fantastic.
It does feel weird that there's like, I'm looking over my notes. There's literally no other promos.
No, nothing.
Just
you had a little video package of Tony. That's it.
I mean, and that was really just kind of tied into post-match anyway. So it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it makes it, makes it feel like a pay-per-view. You had over 10,000 people anyway, right? So you had the feel. I think I like doing it when you to do special things, make them feel special, right? So you say this is
Absolutely.
a special night, right? Feels like a good night. And what better way to make things special than to pull some fantastic USA versus Mexico goodness with MJF versus Mystico. And if you didn't know Mystico's status in the pantheon of CMLL and Mexican wrestling, oh boy, did you find that out real soon.
The guy, man. That's the guy.
He's their Chris Jericho.
He's their Christian. He's their Cody Rhodes. He is.
Someday he'll get go away heat, just like Chris Jericho.
Man, but oh my God, like the singing of his hands, I was just like, oh, it's so good. So good. And MJF, I like the little dissension parts. And I know Austin picked for sure is going to point this out. I know. All the little parts about him being lackadaisical and MJF getting on him throughout the entire match.
Yeah. Like, this match gave you exactly what you'd expected out of it. It was good to see a featured Mystico match on my regular Wednesday night TV.
Yes, sir.
And then, yeah, with MJF, I do have to say real quick on MJF. I thought the singlet to match MVP in the trios match last week was fun. It's
You're
weird
over
if he's going to be a regular thing going forward.
You're over it.
Like, it's a weird look for him.
I love it. I think you're wrong. I love it. I think it is just on par with MJF.
It's shit like that is why I don't see MJF as a top guy.
Okay.
He's so good at that upper mid card, like still win more often than not, but he's so much better at like shtick and stuff like that it's hard to take him seriously as like world champion.
But that's I mean, okay, I hear you, but everything is like the long game with MJF, right? Even his hunt to get back to the title, right? Because everybody says, why would he be in the title mix? He's not right now, but he will be. You know, it's the long game. Just like this whole thing with with the MVP style, gear. It's definitely the long game for when they have their falling out and either beat him out or he double crosses them. He stole the man's attire, right? Kick in the nuts. It's the long game. I agree with Jamie on this, man. I like it. I think it was good. And I like the kind of, they're just putting that in there. All the little bits to like extend that, put those pins out there so that in the future, there's a reason why him and MVP have falling out, right? MVP's telling him to get on it. He's being lackadaisical. Yeah. So
do y'all think we get there before or after All In?
After.
Oh, after.
It's an after thing. I mean, this feels like All Out the soonest. I don't even think by then.
Then what's MJF's All In match?
I mean, I can see because I think
for the trios.
I don't know if they're gonna go for the trios, but I can see the whole Hurt Syndicate in something, because I don't think you're gonna have a tag title match at All In,
Which is unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
I mean, they still might, but I mean, who's your most logical people to move those belts to? Yes, I know you're setting up stuff because, I mean, after the match, you had Speedball and Kevin Knight come out. They're obviously the ones who are going to be next in line, right? everybody else is a heel now, and her syndicate's still heel. So you're not going to have FDR, not going to have the Bucks. The Bucks could be doing something else, right? Who would you do?
Yeah. What a sad state of affairs for the tag team division.
I know your heart weeps a little.
It does. It does.
It sucks. That's all there is to it. Like, it's just mediocrity now. Almost like what they've kind of done with the World Championship.
Hey, we're not going down.
Now it's finally sizzled back up. It's sizzled back up.
The last feud, like since the start of the Samoa Joe feud, it's been solid.
What was that? May? So for 5 months?
There's a very big gap in the middle, unfortunately. Honestly, though, it was just starting off the year with like 3 months of him feuding with Cope that no one wanted to see.
Outrunners will be a surprise upset. I would love it. They're not going to do that. Not a chance in hell.
They need to get the Ring of Honor championship.
Yeah, it gives you something else. Yeah, but give them the Ring of Honor tomorrow. Absolutely. You know, I mean, I don't know. Jamie and I were talking with somebody a little bit ago, and they were mentioning to the whole Death Rider plot line. And it was actually a good analogy that I hadn't really thought of, Jamie, and they applied it to the Bloodline plot line, right? Big, long, drawn out, maybe overextended its welcome, but it's extremely long, and I think that it has a good end game going with Hangman. I don't want to equate that to the tag titles, though. I don't think that those come into play. I don't think it's going to be the same scenario. I just think you just have you don't have any diversity. Everybody's a fucking heel. Even your best guys are kind of heelish. So I don't know what you do with that.
I know it makes life grand.
Well, for you.
Everybody loves a good heel.
Yeah, but you need good baby faces too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but I prefer just a really just dickish heel.
Well,
yeah, same, but like not only that. Like give us some other characters.
That is fair. Okay, I will give you that. But
yeah,
like if I had a roster of 20 guys, I'd want 10 assholes. I want 20 assholes and 10 faces, baby faces. I feel like that would be solid.
That's 30 guys.
That's what I said.
You said 20 guys.
I know.
Jamie wants to play half of Injustice. Just remove the whole left side of the screen and only play with just the bad guy. That's all he wants.
I mean, Injustice Superman. Let's go.
Match was actually really entertaining as well too, right? You know, it's good to see Mystico shine. MJF is still MJF. Gets down to the end there. They do some dirty business, you know, to prevent Mystico from getting a tap out and to get a low blow, which, you know, doesn't quite get a pin. And then he just kicks him in the nuts and gets disqualified, which, to your point, Austin, they didn't let Mystical lose in Mexico City.
I didn't think you could. Like, one, MJF doesn't need the heat.
Nope.
Like, he gets plenty, so you don't need him to beat Mystico. He gains nothing in terms of crowd reaction from that. You piss off your Arena Mexico fans, who you're probably not going to be back in front of for at least like another year or so. There was no point to have MJF win this match. I get the DQ. You want to protect MJF too? That's fine. I don't think you needed it, but like it doesn't matter either way.
Yeah.
So yeah, good on them for not just having Mystico lose here.
But he did steal the mask of Mystico shortly thereafter. I can see him just shaking his head. He is just go boys. Go.
When I saw that happen, I instantly thought of you, Austin. I was like, that is the dumbest shit you could possibly do in Mexico.
Yeah, especially because you're not working your way back to Mystico versus MJF again.
No. Like, what's the point?
I mean, and you bring out the baby faces come out to make the save, and here's Bandito with a mask, or a Templario with a mask in his hand. Gives him, he leaves. Why'd you take it off? Why couldn't you have them come out and prevent him from taking the mask off?
Yeah.
That's a more classic trope. This man literally had the entire arena singing his anthem after it ended. And you're going to unmask him? Come on.
I like to think Templario runs around with a Misco mask at all times, just in case.
That's now canon, boys. That would
be amazing.
That
would be absolutely amazing.
Dude, we should run around with a mask from now on, Jamie. Every time we go to a wrestling, we just pull it out and start chasing a wrestler around with a Misco
mask.
Funny. Well, you could buy a Bandito one on AEW Shop. They did post that.
Yeah. I know you've been wanting to get into masks for a little bit. I know, Jamie.
Yeah. I remember I had a huge fucking head, so I decided.
Did you buy one somewhere once? What was that? Where was it?
Yeah, the girls have one. Yeah, we were at HCW. Yeah, we were at HCW.
Yeah.
We bought one from one of the guys. It was hilarious.
And you tried to put it on, and it did. We didn't even get over like the crown of his.
I look like the revolting blob.
All right. So after this, though, you had JJ's match of the night. No surprise here, boys. 4 million peso 4-way. Let's go. Ricochet, Leo Rush, Mascara Dorada, and the somehow still undefeated hologram.
Yeah, how is he still undefeated?
He was out for a few months with an injury, I believe.
I mean, you can't lose if you don't wrestle.
That's fair.
They made reference to this, and yes, at points, as in the first 60% of this match, it felt like a tag match. Yes. But look at the people you had. It was a very good tag match. And my God, can we talk for a second, boys? The ropes were probably the tightest I've ever seen. And I've watched a lot of lucha. That ring was fucking solid. You know the arena, it's a permanent arena. So those barriers they're not temporary. They're literally boom into like stanchions into and I think at one point in time Tony Schiavone even said everything is like stout, right? Because it's just like talking about how hard every surface was. That's why I was hoping for somebody made that joke so much, and then they went out and said, "Oh, it equates to just under $211,000," and I'm like, "No, you had the best joke for the heel announcer." Like Nigel McGuinness goes, "What is that? Like 1537 or what is that?"
Definitely a big miss on that one.
Heenan would have got that, Jamie. Heenan would have nailed that right away.
Heenan would have been all over that and then some. 4 million pesos? What the hell is that? Like $15? Like, dude, he would have been all over it.
That's easy heat.
Like, that's a layup, dude. That is a layup. Like, come on, man.
So let me ask, do you guys like easy heat?
Yeah.
I know Jamie does.
Yeah, like when it's done right, it's great. Like I think there's a difference between like fun cheap heat and then just really bad cheap heat.
You know, I'm talking. I say easy heat because that's something that's like a layup. That's a joke that you should make. You know, cheap heat. I can't stand cheap heat. Like, oh, your sports team sucks, right? Okay, all right, whatever.
Really? Because it seems to work on you.
It's got to be really clever.
Right, first of all, that's not cheap heat. That is just Jamie being Jamie at me.
Actually, speaking of, like, on Monday Night Raw, Becky Lynch came out in Green Bay in a Bears jersey, or a Bears jacket, which is even funnier because it's the middle of the damn summer. It is not jacket season.
Yeah. Your internet's a little choppy, by the way.
That was great. The jacket was a nice touch. But then she made some comment about the Packers will never win. Do what?
Your internet's a little choppy, by the way.
You're a little choppy,
okay.
my friend.
Oh, I was freezing up.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, no, we heard you mostly all of it. I'm saying your video's a little choppy is all. Your internet's being a little.
Gotcha.
As I said, Austin's had storms. They had an outage. We're blaming that.
Yeah, we'll chalk it up to the storms.
Okay.
But yeah, win the jacket, nice touch. Then she made a comment about how the Packers will never win, and that's the kind of cheap sports team heat. That's lazy. Like, make it clever.
Yeah.
Well, this was that easy cheap heat, just like 4 million pesos.
I'll just let you know, like, if I ever become a manager and I go to a certain city in the state of Kansas, I got one already locked up, ready to go in the chamber. And it's going to be absolutely hilarious cheap heat. And I'm going to see if it'll be great. I'll tell you guys later.
I expect nothing less. Like, if Jamie wasn't ever a manager, it would be cheap heat central. I mean, it would be.
And clever. I'm clever as shit.
You are. I'm not good. I never said you weren't. I'm just saying.
Hey, and Squatch might be my long lost brother.
Could be. You never know, man.
Other than the fact, like, he does like the multi-man. I mean, I get it because it's like just a massive man, but Bobby Heenan is God.
I mean,
absolutely.
Can't have everything to be, because then he'd just be a clone at that point. So we'll go with brother. all right.
Squad, are you an asshole like 24/7? If so, we might be related.
Here's your side. So anyway, we all know JJ loved the fuck out of this match. What did you boys think of the match itself, though?
Delivered what was advertised. I enjoyed the shit out of it. It was a great version of what it was supposed to be. Here's 4 flippy dudes doing flippy shit. Yes. Cool. Sign me up.
Yeah. Let's go.
It's like, I was really expecting technical wrestling in this one.
Oh, I'm sure you were.
No. I mean, it had everything. I thought the dissension between Leo Rush and Ricochet when he rubbed Ricochet's bald head was absolutely perfect. Was so good. And no, it was great. Like, I wouldn't say it was my match of the night because I feel like the match of the night was not it, but it was really good.
Okay, well, this is my match of the night. I enjoyed the living piss out of this. Then you had
like 18 matches to pick from. Seriously,
honestly,
they did everything you love.
There's only 6 matches tonight.
It felt like 18 though.
It felt like it was good, and there was no promos, but because you had so many like multi-person, but no, you only had 6 matches.
There were enough wrestlers tonight to fill 18 matches. They just condensed them into 6.
Yeah,
nice.
And I know a good part of that is easy way to get people time on the card. I get that, but do you feel like that took away a little bit? I think. No. I don't think so, especially if it's the first time you want to do a showcase show like this. I'd like to see if they continue to do this as like an annual thing or like a biannual thing. Not biannual, like a twice a year thing. Give it a little more depth. Thank you. Words. Tough.
Yeah, I think you had to do a bunch of multi-mans because you want to get a bunch of CMLL talent on the show. But it's still a Dynamite, so you don't want to just throw out a bunch of like only CMLL guys matches, or have too many of your regular TV guys losing to luchadors that are probably not swinging back through for a while. So it made sense just do a bunch of multi-mans.
Yep, it's safe.
Well, you guys tell me if this made sense here, because we had a title match between the current CMLL champion Zeuxis and Mercedes Moné, looking to add another belt to her collection, which somehow she has another belt on her she didn't have last week. Did you guys catch that? She has like the Rev Pro title. She has the New Japan Strong and TBS Championship, that fake title from somewhere else, the Owen Hart, and then she had another belt on. But I have no idea where. It's like she has like extra titles that aren't actually titles. Am I the only one that caught this? Am I going crazy?
That. It's possible. I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
I swear she had an extra belt that I have no idea what it was from.
Wouldn't surprise me.
All right. Raise your hand if you thought that Mercedes was not going to get this title. Okay, we can move on.
Yep, that sounds about right.
You seriously, he seriously thought, oh no, there's no way she's winning, bro.
No, I'm asking. Raise your hand if you thought that, because as soon as they announced it, it's
like you knew she was gonna win. I wish Tony would have come and cost her the match. Like, put some kind of juice into that story, because like that one's been pointless the whole time.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, there's no way they're gonna have Mercedes lose this close to All In. Just wasn't gonna happen.
And the last time she had a CMLL match, she did lose, right?
Right, but the whole
For sure, right?
But the
she beat
shtick, but the shtick is she hasn't lost in AEW, right? They put this match on AEW, and it's adding more fuel to a fire that I don't think is actually burning anything.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. We all agree. We all know why they're doing it. We all are like, meh. And then they come out with a Tony Storm promo, a very 1920s, like detective noir sort of.
Yeah, Tracy.
Yeah, she was just like Carmen Sandiego.
Well,
Yes.
we didn't know until she came. We all thought yes, okay. Yeah, we didn't know this because it's black and white, and all of a sudden she comes out and it's Carmen Sandiego, and I don't know. I mean, again, it's like there's no. I can't express how much I don't want this for the match.
Yeah, and they're not helping their case along the way. Because this really still isn't anything more than Mercedes won the Owen, Tony's the champion. That's why we're doing this. Yeah. Which, like, I understand that is the reason why we're doing this, but tell a better story along the way, please.
Like, as good as that little vignette was, Jamie, it didn't make any sense. I still have no idea what it was about. Something about like deep throating Tabasco. That's all I got out of it.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could find a video of the vignette or whatever so I could actually like listen to it, because like I couldn't really hear it that well at my house. Just to be honest.
Oh, your house, yeah, I hear it.
So like I don't know like if you could or not. But I don't know. I don't need build for this. We already know how this one's gonna go, unfortunately. I think we all know.
I don't know.
Move this man!
Sorry, I'm still holding out hope that Tony wins it All In.
Oh, me too, but I'm also a realist.
Like, where do you go from there if Mercedes wins? You have no one else built up.
I mean, you've got you got Kevin's like Jamie's like, oh no, I gotta move my. I have no idea what you do. You do the predictable thing. Mina comes or whatever, and I have no idea what you would do. There's no other baby faces either. Like Willow's it, right? Am I missing
you had
anybody?
Willow on side quest for like 6 months, so like. You've got to kind of build her back up to get after that title.
So Willow's been playing, Final Fantasy VII Remake apparently, because there's 8,000 hours of side quests.
No, she's in Baldur's Gate 3, bro.
She's in BG3 hard. Okay, all right.
All side quests.
185,000 hours of bullshit.
Somehow wrap into the main quest and.
I mean, no, I'm trying to think. I mean, Statlander maybe, but no. Yeah, you got Mina and Tony, Willow. I'm legit trying to find another babyface.
Harley.
You just got Tay back.
Yeah, Tay J.
Anna and Tay. Okay, no. I mean, yes, they're back, but they're not going for a title. Queen Amanada is technically a babyface, I guess.
Sky Blue's technically not now.
No, Sky Blue's not.
Rosa.
You still got Rosa. Okay.
Sounds like Jamie Hayter's hurt again.
course she is.
Is she really?
Damn. Really?
Yeah, I think from what I understand, I think she got a concussion at the finish at Double or Nothing. It just hasn't been cleared yet.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe that's why they haven't done the thing with Thekla because she's.
Yeah, but then why did you start it 4 days after Double or Nothing?
Hey, they have the bodies now, at least. They have the pieces. So they have this great like bit of Legos. They just need to make a fucking plane out of it, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you're gonna say the main event is your match of the night, Jamie.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean that's as it's that's right there. You know, you get all the big names, Young Bucks, Death Riders. Mercedes' new boyfriend going up against Will Ospreay, the Ops, and Swerve. Didn't know it was Samoa Joe's first time in Arena Mexico, but that's cool.
Yeah, that's rad.
How
he got
over
the
though?
Biggest pop I think of the night, other than somebody who was not on air, which we'll talk about here in a second.
I don't know. Swerve and Ospreay got some massive pops.
Yeah, but when Joe came into that ring, people were going ape shit.
I mean, Joe's was up there too. I'm not gonna lie, but there was a lot of pop. Crowd was still pumped for this match, as they should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Watching all the entrances just reminded me how absolutely rad AEW's entrance themes are.
Yeah,
like they do pro wrestling music so well.
I mean, they really do. Yeah. Well, you begin the night with a 14-man tag. You end with a 10-man tag.
It's a lot of men.
A lot of men. A lot of kind of, just showcase stuff going on here. I don't really have much to say about this match because it's like you just list the people and you're like, okay. Get it.
I feel like that was the theme of the night. You saw the match advertised, you knew exactly what you were going to get, and you got exactly that.
Okay.
And that's a recipe for some good wrestling.
Yep. So, but as opposed to the beginning of the show where the good guys won, you got to have the bad guys win this one. And they do. And so, Death Riders, Bucks, and Beast Mortos take home the dub, which then brings out, now that the match is over, Loud back in the arena and very quickly onto the stage. Very quickly, suspiciously quickly, Hangman Adam Page. Comes out to confront Moxley and actually throw blows with him instead of just have him run away. Fisticuffs, some stuff ensues, and it leads to a buckshot lariat on Matt Jackson, to which Nick looks at him like Nancy Kerrigan, why me? Nothing changed here from what we expect. I mean, we're all still leading to Bucks versus Swerve and Ospreay. I'm sure of it. But any additions you guys thought to the little ending of the show? I mean, it's all like on the nose stuff. Nothing was like revolutionary.
Yeah, I would say it was a little over dramatic, but in a way that works for pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it. I do gotta, since we were talking about a match with our man Mortos in it earlier in the night. Our man Squatch in chat said Mortos looks like Mantar. And bro, you gotta understand, whoever came up with Mantar, Mortos is what they had in mind, and Mantor is just what was executed. Because there's nothing cooler than a lucha wrestling bull. Like literally, if the name Mantar had not been used 30 years ago on a really bad wrestler, this would be the time to bust out the name Mantar. I would pop for it.
100%. And then can we all just put a little respect on the Beast Mortos, Black Taurus's name right now? I don't know if you all saw, but him and Mercedes Moné are officially dating.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why
his game probably needs to be studied. How he got it with the man.
Yeah,
and also apparently he's about to become a lawyer.
Yeah, attorney in RAR.
Yeah, he's about to become a lawyer as well.
Okay. Yeah, and we totally at the beginning we said and Mercedes' boyfriend, but thanks for playing along, Jamie.
If hooked up with Mercedes leads to us getting Mortos as AEW champion, I'm good with it.
Same. He didn't even talk.
I have long been, a big fan of Beast Mortos, Black Taurus, so yeah, I am all for it. I mean, even when they were heavily using him in AAA or not AAA TNA for the longest time. Yeah. So I think it's good he's getting, I mean, the man just main evented Dynamite for God's sake. So yeah, I think it's good for him. It's fantastic.
And then you replaced Claudio because Claudio couldn't get into Mexico.
They had some travel issues with a few people's. Indeed.
You know, though, I am as big of a Claudio fan as there is. I still am glad I instead I got Mortos in this, just so I could see Mortos flying around out there.
Same.
Yes.
Same. Because we've just seen a swing, we've seen in the usual stuff, but no.
I have zero complaints about a man Claudio, but anytime you're going to give me Mortos in a ring, yes, give me that.
So we are 24 days out, 3 weeks and 3 days from All In. All the main storylines are pretty much set in, right? We got the title picture for the men and the women. We got the dream match set up with, the title unification. We got a lot of blanks to fill in, but it also feels at a point where it's like, you don't need to tell anybody more on this. So what do we do for the next 3 weeks? Just have a bunch of the same? More than likely?
It does very much seem like they are heavily pushing their main stories at the expense of the rest of the card.
Yep.
And I don't hate it. That's what the first dozen or so WrestleManias were. Maybe not dozen, but at least all the big stadium shows until WrestleMania 9 was started downsizing. You would have your main storylines and you have a bunch of matches that were just thrown together the last couple of weeks before they got there.
Yeah.
And with the roster AEW has, I'm all right with it for this build because most of the main storylines are building very well. Not you, Mercedes and Tony.
Well, we don't know for sure, Squatch, if that's the way it's going to be. I speculated there's not going to be a tag team defense.
TNT will be defended.
I bet you the TNT is going to be a multi-person match. Guarantee it.
So here's a fun question. Out of everyone that does not have a match yet, what do you want to see? One match. If you got to book one match out of everyone that's left over, what would you want to see on the card?
Do I want to see? I mean, realistically, you want, or are we on Fancy Booking Island? Because we can go some really.
Everyone on the roster that's not booked yet. Outside of that, the world is your oyster.
Eddie Kingston versus Claudio and an I Quit match.
That'd be dope.
Okay.
Because there's that's the long term storytelling there.
I mean, I have a couple things that I think are going to happen that I'd be pretty dope to see. But since we're going fancy booking, what do I want to see? I'm going to say Thekla versus Statlander.
That'd be rad.
Because that'd be a badass match. Stat never disappoints. Yeah. And yeah. That'd be a great pairing for both of them.
They not enough time to get there, but I would love to see Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher.
Oh yes.
My thought is you're going to have a four-way for the TNT title. You'll have
likely.
You have Fletcher, Takeshita, Garcia, Cole. Which I'm all for that. By the way,
that'll still be fun.
And I bet they'll have Fletcher win it.
I can see that.
He should.
I can see that. Do you think,
especially if Takeshita's the one leading turn face, Fletcher's got to win that title there.
Especially if he pins Takeshita.
Stat versus
Bane. I like it better if he doesn't pin Takeshita, but just avoids giving Takeshita a shot at the title, and that's how you build to Takeshita leaving. But yeah, Squatch Stat versus Bane would be fantastic as well.
Stat versus Bane would
Or
be
you can
good.
get Stat and Willow versus Marina and Bane or something of that nature.
My 1B after Takeshita versus Fletcher, which has no chance of happening. My next choice would be that women's casino gauntlet match we talked about.
For the tag titles, or
No, for the next shot, the world title.
the casino, the casino gauntlet. Yeah, I think a women's casino gauntlet would be good. I would like to see them do something for the women's tag titles. Which I mean we're 3 weeks out now. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen for all in.
I think All Out.
I think All Out, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense because they're going to be in Toronto.
G1's
known for their tag team wrestling.
I want to say G1's in July, August.
It's like the week after All Out.
August.
All in, yeah.
Well, All In is, third, because it's 3 weeks out, so it's like right in the middle of July. So it's
like the week after that.
So it's like the end of July into August. Well, I wouldn't say Willow's underused, Squatch. I mean, she's been used quite a bit. She's had title runs as TNT TBS champion. She's won the Owen. She got to the finals of the Owen, right? I mean, I think she's a cornerstone of their women's division. It's just right now the focus is so, like, Tony's so hyper focused on this singular story nobody really wants but him. But it does look good on a marquee again. So
yeah,
I wouldn't say Willow's underused personally. I disagree with that's just me.
I think if you were going this Tony Mercedes route, Mercedes should have dropped the TBS title like 2 months ago.
I agree.
That makes this more interesting. And it has something else for the rest of the women's roster to go after. Because that's the problem. You've had Tony and Mercedes both just long dominant champions. And it's starting to make everyone else feel lesser because no one's coming close to those titles.
Right.
Yeah, because if you have Willow win a casino, whatever, that could build her. But here's the thing: like if Willow wins that, then you automatically know Mercedes is winning.
True. I would be okay with that trade-off.
But then Willow's not going to beat Mercedes. They're not going to let Mercedes have just a really short title reign.
Mercedes needs to lose. It's like under this scenario you're presenting. We now have both women's titles on one person for the indefinite future.
I still like the idea of her losing all her titles and going stir crazy mad because of it. Because her character is so ego driven, right? Her character is. It would be fantastic writing if she just keeps losing titles. So have her win them all and then immediately drop that and then turn around and like literally like a week later drop the TBS title, right? And then she still has her other ones, but she can slowly lose those too. Lose the New Japan, lose the CMLL, and she just drives her she's just infuriating bonkers, right? I think that'd be great for her character. And a good way to get these fucking titles off of one person. But what do I know? I just watch wrestling all the time.
I think the character thing is the most important part because how long do they want to just keep doing Mercedes beats everybody? Like, what's interesting about that?
You're right. Exactly, Heather. And that's the point. Yeah. She's got to have some character development. I feel like, they got past the initial boredom of it, right? They made this whole, like, the CEO thing. It worked, right? But it's got no depth. It's got no legs. And, yes, right now it's a marquee. But after you get past the big marquee of Mercedes versus Tony, you got nothing with her. There's no heat anywhere else. I mean, the only other place...
And that's why Tony has to win.
That's what Tony is. Okay, so you're going with Tony.
I'm going real.
I don't think it's the most likely scenario, but I think it's a possibility, and Tony has to win. Mercedes becomes much more interesting, especially like she was right there. She almost collected all of them, and getting stopped short, that's better character development than like, oh yeah, she won that one too.
I'm totally with you. Totally with you. Well,
I'm right there with you too. But
now the thing is, if you don't want to partake in All In on July 12th for whatever reason, luckily you've got some counter programming to look forward to. So there's going to be a Saturday Night Main Event that night, and the featured match on that is Gunther defending his title against Bill fucking Goldberg.
This is so silly. I feel like I need to open up the stash of knowledge to properly dunk on this dumbass match.
Let's just
dunk on it.
Let's not even fuck around. We're just going straight to stash, boys. Thank you, Squatch.
Right into it. This match is happening at least 5 years. It might have been more. At least 5 years after we saw Goldberg go 8 minutes with The Undertaker in one of the worst WWE matches of all time. And it was only partially on The Undertaker. Nobody liked when Goldberg showed up and squashed The Fiend.
No.
Nobody's liked almost any of the Goldberg returns since he's been coming back. And he's not getting any younger. He's not getting any more mobile. He could barely walk down to the ring and get on the ropes. Why is he wrestling Gunther for the title? Why are we doing this?
Gunther.
And this puts you in a situation.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Exactly. Who wants to see this? This now puts you in a situation where your options for this match are either a 50-something-year-old Goldberg beats Gunther, your world champion, and wins the title, on the same show where two guys will have fought through a tournament of 16 people to get an opportunity to challenge for a championship, but Goldberg just walks out and is like, well, you're next. And everyone's like, all right, we're going to do this anyway. So even forgetting that, your options for the conclusion of this match are Goldberg becomes your champion and beats Gunther in under 5 minutes, because he will die if he wrestles longer than that.
Oh, no chance it goes over 5.
Or Gunther abuses an old man. Or Goldberg comes out, hits a spear jackhammer, Gunther kicks out, and then abuses an old man. What are we doing here? Why are we doing this? Which brings me to what I really wanted to get in the stash of knowledge about, because I got a question for the two of you.
All right.
On the top of the mountains of pro wrestlers who have done more with less, and not always in a good way, but just seen more success with less talent. Two men stand, two titans of this business. One Bill Goldberg and one the Ultimate Warrior. Who is worse?
Ooh.
Taker. No. I'm just kidding. Warrior by far.
Who is worse?
Who is worse?
Warrior.
I mean, as a person, yes, you're not wrong. Okay.
Well, even his backstage politicking and the amount of pure cocaine that was going through his veins at any second, and steroids.
It was the 80s, man. Relax. I'm gonna say Goldberg. All right. Why do you say Warrior? Go ahead, defend.
Well, I will say this for Mr. Bill Goldberg. If it wasn't for him, do you really think the Monday Night Wars would have been the Monday Night Wars?
He played a very integral role in the Monday Night Wars.
We've the rise and the fall, both.
We've pontificated about the Georgia Dome show where he took the title off the NWO, right? I give you that, yes. But his question was very poignant. Let me ask you this about
Mr. Warrior, Ultimate Warrior. Yeah. What has he done to elevate wrestling? Other than running fast down. You know, doing all that shit, shaking, just going nuts like that. Never put anybody over. He refused to.
He refused
Rick
to.
Rude beat him. Rick
He
Rude
did.
beat him.
He did.
He put Rude over. He also was
And
one of my
that made
favorite
Rick Rude.
matches. One of my favorite matches as a child, the WrestleMania 6 main event, right? Title versus, the beating Hogan for getting both titles. I love that. It was a different era of wrestling. So talking about elevating wrestling, no, he didn't elevate wrestling, but he was an over-the-top character that fit into the early 90s in a fantastic way. Warrior Hogan was epic. I still, to this point, and even though it involves, Terry Hulk Hogan, it was still an unbelievable, one of my favorite childhood matches, right? The reason I go with Goldberg and my answer to justify, because we're justifying our answers here. Here's why I justify that. Yes, you are very right. He had a very big part in the Monday Night Wars, the Pantheon, getting the belt off the NWO. And then that's where he kind of peaked. He just plateaued out. And everything he did since then in WWE was just very monodrum. The returns and the returns and the returns and the returns that Austin's already talked about here diminish that legend. For whatever it's worth, at least Ultimate Warrior got so coked up he just disappeared from the world for 25 years until he came back, got in the Hall of Fame, and died. Okay? That's why I say Goldberg.
So we're at a tie right here. And I will break that tie, and I will say the worst of the two is Mr. William Goldberg. I've got to go with JJ on this. Hogan Warrior at WrestleMania 6 was a good match. And it was exactly what that match needed to be. Warrior Savage at WrestleMania 7 was also a good Warrior match, and he had some decent matches with Rude. I think those two WrestleMania matches alone, each of them are better than any match Bill Goldberg ever had. So it's close, but I've got to say Goldberg was worse because Warrior, in certain circumstances, could at least be carried through something pretty all right.
Something pretty all right.
I mean, and in fairness, too, he also ended the career of Bret Hart. So there's
that. Yeah.
The only thing that would make Saturday Night's main event worth watching is if Bret Hart came out and cost Goldberg the match.
Please,
that would be so great.
Please.
That'd be the only way to save that booking.
Fuck you, Bill.
See, Squash gets it. Even Bret Hart couldn't get a good match out of Bill Goldberg.
Bret fucking Hart tries to get a good match out of him and ends up ending his career in the meantime. Well, I mean that was a good stash. That was a good stash. Yeah, we get the return of Goldberg. I mean, because this supposedly there's Goldberg was going to come back this year. We all knew it for his final match, right? Do you think this is his final match, or is he going to Ric Flair the fuck out of us for the next decade?
Sure, shit better be
for all of us.
I mean, we hope.
Dude could barely go in 1998. It is 2025. Hang him up, Bill Goldberg.
Okay. We're going back to nostalgia here because, I mean, I don't have much else to talk about. We're going to talk about, real quickly, NXT stuff here in a second. But speaking of 98, Bill Goldberg, I love how every week you turn into Nitro and somehow that record ballooned by a random-ass number.
This Magic Pro Wrestling, man.
This week he did another 12 house shows. Wait, what? How did he go up double digits in wins this week? What?
Yeah, they painted those signs. It was so great. 127-0.
Just
it's only been 3 weeks. How's that even
making
possible?
Numbers up. Just go.
The best part of that entire Goldberg run was Chris Jericho having a feud with him with Goldberg never showing up. Like just a one-sided feud. I don't know if that had ever been done in pro wrestling or has been done since, but that was great TV.
That is 100% Jericho.
That's when Jericho was great.
Yeah.
WCW Chris Jericho is an all-time great.
Well, even even Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression, Chris Jericho was still great too. I mean, the list of Jericho.
Didn't get up until like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Nothing tops WCW Cruiserweight Chris Jericho, though.
Oh
No.
no. Oh no. No.
That's what made me fall in love, and I became a Jerichoholic.
I mean,
Yeah.
1,004 holds is one of the best promos that's ever been done. And the fact that it went through a whole commercial break. I want to get a video of somebody that was because it went through the entire commercial break, and he kept going back to armbar.
Well, so during the commercial break, he went into Cheap Heat. He was in solid local. I think he talks about in his book is once they hit commercial, he just started cutting heel promo on the crowd. And then once they came back, he went back to his list, which is great because if you're live in the crowd, you start booing even harder because you know he wasn't reading the whole time.
Yeah, that's even better.
Masterwork.
Midlife Crisis Jericho was indeed the problem, Heather.
I mean, you made the list, Jericho. Come on now.
Oh, the list.
You really came out with that.
You know what happens? You just made the list. So good.
2008, walking around in a suit, Chris Jericho was really good too.
Oh, and the scarf.
More classic heel.
The list Jericho with the scarf and the Anyway, we've given Jericho his TV time for the week. I know you can.
Yeah,
you got a fucking action figure of him right there, for God's sake. So, you're welcome,
Ralphus, man. Ralphus.
I found that like a deep cut. So that's an actual like WCW action figure that was like taking their finishers and making them into the figure.
Remember that one?
Yeah. So
I remember that one. Yeah.
He's got Jericho as the Lion Tamer.
That's rad.
There is no way. That was like the perfect. That's the best gift I've ever gotten, Jamie, by far.
Yep.
Because I'm not great. Jamie's a fantastic gift giver. I'm an okay one. That was my crowning moment right there. It was like okay, yeah, that screams perfect. All right. What doesn't scream perfect? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but NXT, the contract signing of Blake Monroe.
Balake Monroe.
Yeah. I mean, the overall point that they're clearly setting up her and JC Jane for that title, I'm good with. I'm down to see that.
Shocker, but whatever.
But man, she's leaning hard into the Tony Storm stuff.
I'm glad you said that because I don't feel like such an asshole when I'm gonna say.
All right, let's go.
Balake Monroe can only run because Tony Storm walked and showed her the way. And is she stealing a lot of her stuff? Yes. Is she leaning really hard into Sabrina Carpenter for some odd reason? Also, yes. It's gonna work for her. It is. But that Tony Storm promo just keeps yelling in my head when she's like, "You're just gonna be mediocre." Like it just screams at me every time I see her talk right now. It's like Tony knew.
I feel like I said everything a couple months ago when we were talking about the possibility of her going to WWE, and I said, yeah, I get it, it'd be fine. She's just another one. I mean, in ring, do I think she's better than a lot of them? Yes, I do. But it's not about that in WWE, you know? That is ironic, Heather. That's very ironic, I know. But we digress. yeah, I don't get it. You know, and I know Tiffy's over. I don't get why. And she's gonna fall in the same path, as that, right? And she'll get somewhat over, but I don't know. Like, look for whatever your thoughts and proclivities are as it relates to all the women in the WWE, right? Who's probably the most over women WWE in total, right? Io, Stephanie, okay, still live, right? Lyra's getting over, okay. I mean,
You forgot Rhea.
there's always Rhea. Well, mommy's in her own cloud, okay. And what about those women I just described to you reminds you of the other women? Nothing. They're very unique. They're very different, right? Nothing that they're doing with Blake Monroe is unique or different, right?
Yeah, it is very much. It seems like a just a generic pro wrestling character, which is unfortunate. It's almost like she's being produced to be like, hey, I heard Tony Storm talk about getting to bed with some other ladies on Dynamite. Throw that in your promo tonight. That's what it sounds like. Is they're just telling her to take that, which you don't need to do. Mariah May is a talker. We heard her talk in AEW.
Yeah.
Like, she can get a promo. Just let her be her. Like, don't try and make her, hey, we want our own version of Tony Storm. Just let her be her, and she'll succeed. She's great at this shit.
Couldn't agree more.
I mean, but that's what was I gonna say. We don't write the shows. We just talk about them. Anything else you boys want to get to and talk about?
So, hopefully, August 22nd, I am going to go to Triple L. While I'm there, I'm also going to go to the Stanley Hotel, gentlemen. And did I happen to show you my Jack Torrance Funko that I got, the custom one?
I don't think you did.
I don't
So
remember.
here's Jack Torrance. Here's Jack Torrance.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm gonna hate this so much.
He lights up blue.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like all crazy in the ice. Crazy in the ice. So it's like normal, Tony Storm, Balake Monroe. Tony Storm, Balake Monroe. There you go.
I don't think we can follow that. Well, we will be back next week. Boy, it feels good only talking about a little over 2 hours worth of wrestling and some other stuff instead of the 4. So we will be. Fun fact: we were just starting the last 2 weeks about this time, boys. But
Yeah.
we will be back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Approximately a half hour after Dynamite ends. Lastly, sorry, before we want to get there, local wrestling update. All right. For those of you who have not seen, Central States Wrestling had a venue change. Okay. The venue they wanted to, they're going to be in that one on Green Valley, but they've had, the building itself, so they're going through building some stuff out and it's not ready. Right. So they're going to be over off of, in a very familiar place, the Abdullah Shriners Hall, over off of Metcalf and I-35. Which is where Jamie and I first found NWL way back in the day. It's actually a fantastic place to go watch wrestling. Great spot. It's a bigger location. They sell beer. So it's going to be great. Fantastic. So coming up here in July, like I said, Overland Park, Kansas is where it's going to be. Check out CSW's socials for more details on that. And then, after that, we will get more updates on the next Fountain City Pro. But that's the next event coming in. If you're not doing anything Sunday, get yourself downtown. GCW is in town. Effie's got a title match against Two Chord Scopio. Bunch of stuff, cool stuff going on. But yeah, I want to let you guys know about the CSW stuff. So it's in Kansas now. That's going to be.
It is nice. It's on the right side of the state line where there's not a commission to deal with.
Yes.
While we're talking local wrestling, not a super far drive from Kansas City, this Saturday night in Salina,
Ooh, okay.
it's yours truly taking on Hector De Oro for the Heartland Championship Wrestling Heartland Championship.
Ooh.
Rare singles action. I was at Triple L last weekend. I forgot who I was talking to, but I realized I think I've had one singles match this entire year.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And that was fighting Super Thunder or Atomic Super Thunder Frog at a Cinco de Mayo outdoor show, where there wasn't much wrestling going on. But yeah, so out in Salina at the Sky Trampoline Park, they also stream on Facebook. Search Heartland Championship Wrestling if you want to tune into something on a Saturday night.
Because you know what's
I'll be at the ball field, but as soon as I'm done, I'll watch. Are you gonna be the main man since you go for the belt?
Oh yeah, title match, man. Gotta be.
Match gotta be the
I'll be
main.
able to
Yeah,
watch.
absolutely. Check them out on Facebook if you can't make it all out to Salina. But hey, wherever you are, support your local wrestling. Support independent wrestling. I mean, that's where this all starts. That's the grassroots. That's your minor leagues. That is the foundation of wrestling. And there's so much good times to be had. $20, go to a local show. Please support your local independent wrestlers, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll be back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel, roughly. Again, if it's your first time here, thank you for stopping in. Give us a subscribe if you're down below. Give us a big thumbs up as well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for chatting. We appreciate you guys here being live. We will see you all next week. Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down to Spotfest, I got trace words for you. Viva Las Wrestling.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
El Piso.
Later.